Hi, and welcome to Teachers Talk, a web series where we center the voice of educators as we explore culturally relevant pedagogy, teacher preparation, and the optimal development of Black students. Before we get into the research, I'd love to tell you a little bit about myself and how I ended up right here. My name is Brittany Powell. I'm currently a graduate student at the University of Pennsylvania studying the interdisciplinary studies of human development. That is a mouthful every time I say it. I am in front of you right now because I am taking Qualitative Modes of Inquiry, which is a course that is required for my graduation. But also, I'm really excited to be here because I would love to continue with qualitative research. This web series is developed from a project that I had from class where I decided to interview teachers on their perspective of, one, what culturally relevant pedagogy looks like in practice, two, how did they learn to become a culturally relevant practitioner, and three, do they feel prepared to teach in culturally relevant ways in classrooms of predominantly Black students. It was definitely an exploratory project, but it'll continue with this web series, which will be based on some of the themes and findings from my research. Okay, in the remainder of this video, I'll tell you about my positionality, I'll tell you about some of the challenges that I faced, and last, I will discuss a bit about further directions and where we go from here. So, first, positionality. I am a graduate student. I'm learning. Other important factors to my positionality is I identify as a Black woman. Education was always something that was super important to me. Before enrolling at the University of Pennsylvania, I was a classroom teacher. I taught third grade to many beautiful, predominantly Black students in Newark, New Jersey, which I love to do. My experiences there has definitely molded the way that I think today. However, I recognize that my experiences are my own. I taught in a specific context, a specific school. I taught in a charter school, a specific type of school, and my experiences will be different from everyone else. So as I do interview different teachers in different settings, I am taking into consideration that their experiences are not mine, and also our individual experiences shape who we are and the way that we interpret things as we've researched. My experiences of education myself through the education system was predominantly public schools. I was educated in the United States for most of my education, but I actually started my education in Jamaica in actually a private school. So as I go through this journey with you as an educator, as a researcher, and as a student and continuing to grow, one thing that I would like to try to do, and you guys can hold me accountable to, is to partner with my interlocutors. I hope that the experiences and the conversations that you see from here are fluid, are dynamic, are beneficial to both parties, and they center the voices of the educator and not my thoughts. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the research.
Okay, so now I'm going to move into talking a little bit about my challenges and further directions. But here are my research questions again for all my visual learners. Okay, so my methods that I used was I did a call for participants on Instagram, on the gram, and I had a good amount of people respond. I sent them a link to sign up for interviews, and they did so, and the people who signed up before the due date were the people that I interviewed. I ended up interviewing 6 teachers via Zoom, two of which teach in Washington, D.C., and 4 in Newark, New Jersey. Majority of them have actual master's degrees, and all 6 are elementary school teachers. The challenge for me during this project was the trends in coding. So as a new person to qualitative researcher, I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm hopeful that I'm able to use these codes to further understand my research questions and disseminate the information that I learned. As far as further directions and follow-up, that is what this project is. This is my further directions as I re-interview through an interview series, my interlocutors, and even more people, and I dive deeper into my research questions based on the trends and based on questions that came up that weren't there before. Thanks for listening. This marks the end of video number 1 of Getting to Know Me, and next up is an ode to the OGs. See you next week.